Welcome back to another video. So this will be regarding CATIA V5 and CATIA 3D Experience. Regarding the fillet anomaly, why it works on step but not within the CAD file. So I think I managed to understand what was the problem. So let's see over here. This will be that part. And as we can see, we have over here the following sketch, fully defined. Afterwards, we have the cylinder. And the problem will be that the cylinder within CATIA will also add 2 points for the wireframe. And we see it over here. So if I will go and define this within the current work object, we see that this has been already added. So we have the initial pad, which is this one. This doesn't have any additional lines. So since this is created using an arc, not a circle, it will not have that additional split geometry. But if I will define this in work object with this one, since I created this using a circle, this will automatically add those additional segments. And those segments are the one that will cause the fillet to not work. Now, if I will also define the following cut over here, only with one cut, and this is also why this is weird. If I will go with the fillet over here, keep in mind that I only have the cut on the top. I can make that fillet without any problems. But you see this has been added after the first pocket. And if I will define the second cut, which if I will enter the sketch will be like this. So just like the first one, this is the first cut. And we have the same onto the other side. And if I will go and define in work object both of those, if I will go, I want to add the fillet now onto the same sketch. We have this error, swing operation ambiguity. Cannot decide whether a face must be kept or removed. And this is really weird, but I created the same part over here. But now this is differently. So initially we have this 3-point arc. And we have that circle. If I will define this as a work object and I will go within wireframe, we're going to see that over here for the arc, we don't have the additional edge that will connect those, but for the inner circle, we're going to have that. And this is the main problem. I think that the structure that is used within CATIA for the circles will cause that problem. If I will add the second cut like this, and this will be the section where I need to define that fillet. And as we can see, we don't have that additional line over here. And if I will try to apply the fillet, this will work without any problem. Currently we have an update because that fillet has already been added over here within that, that part. But we see how this works. And this is why it's quite weird that regarding the method that you're going to use in order to align the initial circles, we'll create those additional lines. So we see over here, they are aligned like this. And over here at the end, we have a rotation added to the part. So we're going to have those lines rotated like this. So this was the initial model. And at the end, we can also have that rotated. But again, the problem will be this. If I will create over here a new circle, as soon as I will define this and I will leave the sketch, we're going to have those 2 points added. So we see one over here, one over here. And as soon as I'm going to extrude this, we're going to have that additional geometry created. And this problem is the same within the newer version, within 3D Experience. So let's see, within the essentials, I will create a new sketch. If I will go with a circle, and I will want to have this extruded, let's increase the limit. Again, we have that additional line, so it's not that visible within the default visualization, but if I will go within view modes, we're going to have that line added. And this is something really weird. Why CATIA adds those in this case? Because for other CAD solution, for example, SolidWorks, when we're going to create an extrusion, with a circle, those edges will not be created. And it's the same with other, for example, fusion. If I will create a new sketch, and in this case, I will go with 2 arcs. So let's see, where are the arcs? This is why I find the new version a little bit complicated. Let's see. This will be the first one. And I will create the second one. If I will have this extruded, again, we're going to have that added wireframe directly over here. So in this case, those are not tangent. I'll just go back to CATIA because I find 3D experience a little bit trickier. Let's just create those arcs. So this will be the first one. I will select all 3 points and make them be on the same vertical line. So in this case, we can add that equidistant, but we should be able to also constrain those. Let me just create an axis, and I want that point over here to be coincident, and that point over here as well, and over here as well. And if I will have this created within the other side, have it over there in the middle coincident, and if I will extrude this, again, we're going to have those added segments. So within wireframe, we're going to have that the model will be linked over there. And depending on the orientation of that wireframe link, we can either use that fillet or not. For example, we see it over here. This didn't have that since this was only one arc. But as soon as I created this one, the second one, the cylinder, CATIA decided to add that wireframe straight in the middle. And we see this will be the problem with one pocket. It will go like this. So we see the geometry is divided. But again, it's quite weird why I can create this one over here on the top. But if I will do the second cut, which will be the following, over here on the bottom, the same workflow, the same coincident sketches aligned perfectly over there, it will no longer work over here on the top. And this doesn't make any sense. This is why I make this video, in order to raise the awareness regarding this problem that is also added within the newer version of 3D Experience. So if you have an explanation for this, please let me know in the comment section, because this is something that for me, I've been using CATIA for a long time and I only encountered this now and I find it really weird. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching.